Hello, good evening. I'm Dr. Ericka. As usual, I'm so happy and blessed to be able to spend this time with you. I know there's so much going on in the world that a part of me was like, should I come on? And then I thought about it and I realized that we all need each other. And in times like this, we have to figure out how can we come together and help each other be better, survive, and make it through times like this. So I went ahead and made the executive decision that I would still be here. And one thing you may see is you're going to see a smile on my face at times. But one of the things I discovered today, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about, is how it's interesting when you have multiple emotions kind of inside you at the same time. So this has been one of those days where there are days I've had, or moments where I've had joy, moments where I've been angry, moments where I've been sad, and moments where I felt like I was two steps away from crying. And I think that's a challenge a lot of us are dealing with right now, with so many emotions at one time currently. So let's get to the matter at hand. So you see something scrolling down here? That is what we're going to be talking today. So today we're going to be talking about 3 tips to de-stress your home. And you might say, hey, Dr. Ericka, why are we talking about this? Number one is, one of the places all of us spend a lot of time is our home. And since we spend so much time here, it's important to be able to find a way to turn that stress level down. And what better way to do it than at home, where you spend so much time? And it's even bigger now that in this pandemic, a lot of people, they're working from home, they're not going out, they're home all the time. Now, I won't lie, I wish I was still home all the time. I am enjoying my current contract, but I do have to go into a clinic, and I won't lie, there is something comforting about being home with all my stuff comfy. But I want to help you with some tools to help. Number one, I want your home to not only be a safe space, but a place where you feel like you can breathe, and it's almost like you step into home and it's like, ah. I want that for you because there is so much going on right now. And as much as it was hard to do this today, when I was thinking about the decision of the functionally lack of charges related to Breonna Taylor's killer, is that it's tough, and I actually did a post on Facebook asking, wellness check, are you okay? And a lot of people are like, no, they're not okay. And I can even be transparent with you and say, I'm not okay either. I had hopped on Instagram. I don't know why I did that to myself. So I hopped on Instagram and people had these graphics. And when I say graphics, not like when you're seeing the videos of people being killed by police or hurt and injured by police, just regular graphics. And they were just so touching. Like, one of the ones that really stuck with me was, it said, I'm sorry, Breonna Taylor, that the bullets that missed you will get justice before you do. Just stuff that was heart-wrenching. And I remember sitting, because it was over lunch, and I was sitting in my office and I almost started crying. But I think we're all dealing with the stress of how to hold it together, because a lot of us, we still have to adult. So in the middle of this pandemic, we still have to adult. In the middle of all this racial injustice, we still have to adult. We still have to do our jobs, take care of our tasks. And then for us, especially that are in the service industries of some sort, that when a patient comes to see me, they aren't coming to see me and what I'm dealing with. They aren't coming to see me to have me be upset because the world is unjust and unfair. They're not coming to see me to see how I'm a little tired that day. They are coming to get the best of me. And I realize it takes a little bit of energy to somehow pull that energy to give your best to someone when you're tired. So let's go ahead and get moving into this. So again, I am your host, Dr. Ericka, double board certified psychiatrist. And as Joy likes me to remind people, I am Harvard trained. I'm also an integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms. But today, it doesn't matter your gender. I am just here to help you get through all of this craziness with your sanity intact. And today, I mean this craziness. Yes, I said it. Craziness. I said it. And I have an adult telepsychiatry practice we'll talk about later, but right now I want to talk about some simple things you can do to de-stress your home environment, because there are some things that we may do inadvertently that will actually raise our stress levels because of our environment. Because a lot of times your outside environment is a reflection of what's in here. So what we want to do is we want to manipulate the outside environment so it triggers in here to calm. So let's go ahead and get to this. So the first thing, because this is going to be a quickie, we're going to be in and out, is declutter or organize. Number one, we'd already talked about in pandemic life. It's good to have less clutter because it's easier to clean and sanitize if there's not stuff anywhere. The next thing, though, is if your space is organized and decluttered, and they're two different things, because you can have things decluttered and still be unorganized, is that by decluttering, number one, it makes it easier for everything to have a place. It also makes it easier for you not to just have junk laying around. And to be organized means that you can easily find things, get things. Things are very accessible. You don't end up stressed because you can't find what you're looking for. Because I don't know about you, have any of you had times where you were about to leave the house and you could not find your keys? If someone said, find your keys or die, you'd just be dead. It's me some days. Is that the more organized and decluttered you are, then when you need things, you can find them, which keeps you also from having that stress of needing something that you literally just can't find in your house. So when you have your home decluttered and organized, it helps calm you because it also reflects a calm that can also then reflect back in your mind. So let's move on to the next thing. So we talked about kind of how things look, how things are organized, where things are. Let's move on to how things smell. So aromatherapy is an easy, oftentimes low-cost, easy way to affect your mood and stress levels. So there are certain scents that tend to be relaxing, like lavender is one that's just really well known for it. But by using aromatherapy, you can really affect the energy of your home. There are so many options, from things with mint and peppermint and eucalyptus and lavender and lemongrass and citrus. There's just so much. And, you can always get blends. You can do them one at a time. You can mix them together however you want and do oils. The great thing about aromatherapy oils is you can put them on points on your body. So a lot of times people put them on their wrists or on their elbows, right back here. The other cool thing about using the oils directly is if you're wearing a mask a lot, especially like when I was in the hospital, I did this a lot, is you can put some oil on your mask and then it's just you're breathing it in and it just kind of makes you feel soothed or calmed or sometimes happy. I used to use a combination of lavender and mint when I was in the hospital. But the other way you can use oils directly is you can use a diffuser. Now, one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of a diffuser is it's not a fire hazard. The thing when you come to using incense and candles is that technically, if you walk away too long, you knock it over, you're going to have a mess or something can catch on fire. I do still love candles, but I love the diffuser because you don't have to worry about that. You can turn it on, you can walk away, you can do whatever, and then you can experiment with what you put in it. One of my coaches sent me this great book that talks about essential oils, and then I can pick them and figure out how I want to use them. And the other kind of thing with the oils is some people will also use them in the tub, or you can actually put a little bit in the bottom of your shower and it'll steam. So there are just a lot of ways to use the oils. And then also another option is to use candles, but they can really shift your energy and just really affect how you feel and help you de-stress. A lot of times people use lavender. We talked about mint, lemongrass, eucalyptus. There's just a wide variety. And you can also just pick one that's already pre-mixed. There's so many that will just say stress relief. So what's the next thing? Well, the next thing goes back to how your home is and a strategy to help keep your home together. Let me know if you're ready to hear it. And the other thing is I realized I didn't even give the tips at the top of the hour, which is if you know someone that needs to share it, If you know someone that needs this, tag them. If you're watching later, no worries, but hashtag replay. So let me know also, do any of you use aromatherapy? Stick it in the chat. Let me know if you use aromatherapy, yay, nay, and if you do, what you do with it. So we said the next thing reflects back to organizing, decluttering, but it's something called a room reset. And I never really had a word for it until I was listening, because I always get back and forth of what I should say if I'm reading an audiobook. I was listening to the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he was talking about a client of his, and it was a strategy, and I've heard it, but I never knew a name for it, called the room reset. So the room reset is when you leave a room, you put it to the condition it was when you got there. So basically, it's the effectiveness of when you leave a room, you tidy it back up immediately. The idea is that it will never get really janky because you cleaned up every time you left or moved, so that everything goes right back to where it is. Now, I realize that might be a little bit much, if you're going, like, you're sitting on the couch, then you go to the bathroom, then come back to the couch. No, you don't have to clean it. But it's great, especially when you're leaving a room for a while, because then you don't have this big pressure to do all this housework because you straightened up. Because I remember a long time reading even this story about strategies people kept their house spotless, and one of it was at the end of the night they wipe down all the surfaces and they do all these things, and it's really simple, it's quick, but it keeps their house looking beautiful. But I think the room reset is a great tool to help you from getting into a world of clutter and disorganization, because you are putting things back immediately. You're getting your rooms back together immediately. It's not a situation where it's just things get in disarray and then you have more things out, you spread more things out day after day after day, and then you're like, how am I going to clean it all? Now, I hope somebody wants a bonus, because I have a bonus. Let me know if you want a bonus. So the bonus is identify some things that are your favorite things. And when I say that, it always makes me think of that song, Favorite Things, from The Sound of Music. And also the Diana Ross did a lovely version for A Motown Christmas. But having your favorite things accessible, so you can see them and touch them. So for me, part of it's having my favorite blanket, and I have some favorite pictures. But you want some things that just make you happy just to look or touch or feel them, and for them to be close by. So, maybe having something that's your favorite color, having your favorite book out, but just having some things around your home that can immediately lift your spirits, that are easily accessible, be it things that you just look at and they feel good, or things you may do something with. So like I have crystals, and they're actually over here. I'll quickly, I feel like Mr. Rogers. I'm coming back to frame. I've got a couple containers. One of my business besties, Dr. Jaquel, gave me this container. This is actually one of my new favorites. It's a floral agate. Isn't it cute and adorable? But my crystals make me super happy. So my crystals are not in a drawer. I spend most of my time in this living room, kitchen area. So all my crystals are in bowls or little containers where they're open and easily accessible, so I can grab a crystal immediately. So I advise you, pick your favorite things. Like I know Joy was on here before. She has this really cool Black Panther blanket. You can always find a Black Panther blanket. It makes her happy. So let's do this. Let's just put some of your favorite things where they're really accessible. So again, I want to remind you, if you know anybody that needs this, tag them or share. Also, if you're watching it later, no worries. Put hashtag replay in the comments so I know you were here. So we were talking about some ways to de-stress your home, especially in the context of so much going on between dealing with this pandemic, all this racial injustice that has just recently hit another point due to the lack of charges for the people that were involved with the murder of Breonna Taylor. So we're talking about how to keep your home nice and together, and for it to be a place that relaxes you and helps be a tool to de-stress you. So we're talking about those tips. So the first one is declutter and organize so that you can find things. Also, clutter makes you stressed. I want you to be able to find everything. I want you to have a nice clean palette, to be able to breathe. So let's do that. So number 2 was using aromatherapy. Good smells feel good. And also they have some therapeutic value on their own. So for a lot of people, you can identify different things. Everyone kind of has their favorites. I love lavender But I also have some blends that I just totally love, like rosemary and eucalyptus. And the great thing is now you can look up some suggestions on the web for free. I don't know if you remember days without the internet. I remember pre-internet. It was very interesting. It's interesting having so much information at our fingertips. And you can use aromatherapy a variety of ways. One way is through candles, but as we talked about, they can be a fire hazard. So I also love using oils, and you can use a diffuser, which is great because you can walk away and not worry about burning your home down. The next, and it's also great because you can take a diffuser to work. That's a little bonus because you're not going to be having fires. The next thing you can do with the oils is you can put them on points in your body and use them therapeutically. You can put them in your tub or have the smell while you're bathing. You can put them in the bottom of your shower and let them steam. You can, we talked about diffusers, all kinds of stuff you can do with aromatherapy oils, essential oils. The next is the room reset, which is when you leave the room, put it back like it was, keeps you from having to do all this massive cleaning, and it just keeps your home nice and clean. And one of the good things about having a clean, decluttered home is, I don't know about you, I feel like I can breathe better when my home is nice and free and doesn't have junk everywhere. That junk just stresses me out. I know I'm not alone, even though none of y'all are saying it right now. And the bonus is to identify some things that are your favorites and have them accessible, have them out, have not in a way that makes it clutter, but you want things that make you happy and bring you joy to be easily accessible. So you don't want them hidden crazy places that, favorite blankets, favorite pictures, my crystals, if you have a favorite cup, whatever it is, make it easily accessible so that you can have that as a little pick-me-up, because it's always good to kind of trick your mind if you're feeling stressed, pick up something that just automatically makes you happy. It's like a little happiness hack. So I want to say thank you so much for joining. I didn't want to keep you on here too long. We probably ended up talking a little longer than I had planned, actually. But I just want to say, send some love out to all of you. Say it is okay if you don't feel okay right now. There are a lot of people that don't feel okay. And I want to, number one, give you permission for your feelings. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm going to do my best to help you hopefully feel better, but I'm not going to tell you how you feel. You have full permission for all of the feelings. Do you see? All of the feelings. So I hope these tips are helpful. I hope they help you have as much of a de-stressed or zen home environment as you can. The next thing is, if you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, as I said before, I do have an adult telepsychiatry practice. Feel free, come on over, schedule a 15-minute free consultation. You don't have to be in a crisis to just get some assistance. I love the idea of mental health checkups. You can go to askdrgoodwin.com, askdrgoodwin.com. And there you can actually schedule a free consultation. I'm currently concentrating on Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Texas, and California. Soon to be Florida, but not quite Florida yet. So just go on and hop on over there for that. I want to send you all out an abundance of love. Tell you, give yourself a nice big squeeze. Give yourself a good hug. And you have the usual prescription. Call at least one person and tell them that you love them. I am your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained double board certified, yes, psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms. And yes, it's a little complicated right now because people don't always think our lives matter. But I won't go all the way down that rabbit hole right this second. But I am here to help you get through all this craziness with your sanity intact, no matter what your gender is. And I'm off for the rest of the weekend. I will see you back here on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Please be kind to yourself. Please take care of yourself, and please give yourself some grace. Have a good night.